Hello, everybody. We're back here with another fucking episode of Raw. Let me tell you something, folks. When you have to be genuinely trying to spike up and gain momentum over Road to WrestleMania, part of the year, over a quick ratings grab, it's just you need to capitalize on it. You need to utilize storylines over most of this. The only person who utilized and had the most screen time, trying to make a name over himself, is fucking Randy Orton, that has nearly 20 years in the business. Are you kidding me? And most of the time he'd be talking shit on Mark Henry, Big Show, Ric Flair, just trying to get them out of the arena, immensely over the Legend Killer moniker, and all this garbage. He'd barely assaulted anybody. He could have made conflict with IRS, the legitimate father that he'd be even addressing over WWE over Bray Wyatt. Doesn't want to do anything with that. He didn't put Alexa Bliss on fire, so the immense payoff of that, you could have just psyched him out, just kicked her in the head, show a replay of what happened on Raw, cut to black. We open Raw with some momentum, a shocking moment. Something to at least get the fans immersed in, oh, what's going to happen? What's Randy Orton going to do next week? He's called the Legend Killer. We're having a Legends event. And other than mockily just making fun of Mark Henry in a freaking scooter, and then Big Show just randomly sitting down, and all this BS. God, bro, Raw just has this ability to be good. I don't know what happened. The last time there was at least a marquee episode of Raw, I agree with this from Bonafide Elite. Love their podcast, shout out to them. But by God, they just have an inconsistency to set for the marquee, even when it's a semblance over to the main freaking roster. There's some legends that barely even showed up or had any screen time. Where was Carlito in the midst of this? We had, of course, our Ron Simmons segment. Then there was these crappy little skits over with Melina. Why didn't you have Melina? I understand for personal reasons, but why didn't you have her like interacting with like her ex-husband? Push over the needle. What kind of garbage is this that Vince thinks this is going to immense ratings? I can say for at least a few things that the main event was pretty good, except the rest of the ending. Styles in Elias was a decent match. The only thing is, it's still amazing Elias to not even be at least a bit threatening. I don't care if he cheats. He just needs to stay remainingly consistent on winning. He's been jobbing in nearly every primordial feud that you have him on, and he's supposed to be an immense heel with a freaking buff Marine as a freaking bodyguard. Put like Amos in a freaking sleeper hold. You have him bro kicking a freaking guitar swing jet fast like he just had instant transmission. Oh God, man. Another complaint in the show. Stop with these mishmash niche little tag teams you put. Make immense tag teams, or at least call up some of the females to fill up over a thin line of women in the roster. Oh, and somehow Mickie James is on Legends Night, even though she's not even a Hall of Famer. Yes, she's a legend in the business. She's still on the main roster. She doesn't even interact that much other than in an Andrade segment. Like, Tatanka came with his dumbass ring gear because he can still fit it. Because he's built the same since 2005 when he was still wrestling. Oh, God. It just sucked. We, of course, had Teddy Long opening the night after Miz TV after the New Day's struggle-licious time to actually be funny while not foiling over Big E. And he came over with Teddy Long being like, you'll have a match with The Undertaker. Or you got a tag team match right now. Oh, God. It's just, it's nice that they try to push over what made them memorable. But what they gonna do for like people like Eric Bischoff, like a guy that was like a chauvinistic, misogynist, control hungry douchebag that comes around even trying to take advantage of his female employees. Kurt Angle, it's true. And Teddy Long is just, he'll give you a tag team match, or against The Undertaker, or both. It's these niche things that oversimplify the characteristic of a wrestler or a character. Hell, even a GM, and we don't even have those anymore. You could have done us all a freaking favor if Hogan could be a freaking... Why wouldn't you just get one of these legends to be an authority figure? We barely have Shane after Raw Underground. Stephanie's barely doing crap, and Triple H is in this little dystopia of indie schlock with NXT thinking that they're ever going to be mainstream. And Vince is just dying. No disrespect. I heard this guy's been having a bit of recent health issues. But this guy's dying to think of anything creative. And if you can, grab the marquee. Ask for some of these legends to add over to integral storylines. Then we had some awkward segment over Lacey Evans seducing Ric Flair in a tag team match with her and Peyton Royce facing off against Asuka and Charlotte. The match was borderline sloppy, barely a semblance of chemistry over with Peyton Royce. The chick is hot, but she's just not that green. She's not that enticing over in the ring. It came over with some decent Hurricane Ranas, a sloppy neck breaker off the apron. They try to do this whole thing with a Shining Wizard plus a sloppy natural selection. That's a dumb move, by the way. It ends with a roll up for the win after Ric Flair catches Charlotte's leg when she was running the ropes. So it ends with Ric Flair sabotaging her over a woman. Did she end up carrying Lacey Evans? Thinks it's probably gonna be a one-off appearance. Charlotte just comes around just bitching out her own father that she rips off his own gimmick from, and she can only do shit like that because she's taller than him. It's so gay. Get this Sarah Bird freaking she-male away from me. I'm sick and tired of her trying to have the Stephanie McMahon treatment of abusing your own father. It's so dumb. And especially you have the whole Hurt Business losing to freaking jobbers. Why? Just tell me why. Tell me why. I'm not going upon this in any sort of order right now. I'm just gonna give you a majorial thought of most of the segments that happen most of the show. Why have the Hurt Business lose? We had Miz and Morrison lose after Miz, just all because he didn't physically cash in. He didn't hand the briefcase over to the referee. It didn't appointedly count as a cash in, but somehow the ref found it was okay in the first place. I guess technically because it's a hit of the moment, even though the ref could just stand there and just watch until somebody pulls the belt off. Retarded just to give Miz more extra screen time. Dumb. Then you have him job over to the New Day. Surprise Trouble in Paradise. Sam off-putting. Go outside for a frickin' commercial break. Average little back and forth over some Shining Wizards for Xavier Woods to pick up the win. And it's like, okay, when was that his move? Why can't you guys just use the... Okay, whatever. It's just dumb. I didn't mind Hogan in a bit of a segment. It was pretty cool, I guess, with the whole phone thing. And then he just came over nichingly. Of course, he has to make himself, because he's, of course, pro wrestling in general of mainstream. He comes around, what you gonna do, brother? And freak that Negro Keith Lee, brother. He reminds me of who Brooke in that sex. I'm so sorry, people. I'm sorry if y'all remember that from 2015. He did say the N-word. Yeah. Sorry, brother. Vince agrees with me too. No fat Negroes getting over on big guys, dude. Or pal. Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry. Lucha House Party. beats the Hurt Business after literally Cedric gaining momentum on pinning most of the New Day for the last 2 months. And then you guys just lose to the Lucha House Party over just one argument. Where was this over most of the time that Cedric Alexander been overconfident? Makes zero sense. At least it makes a tiny bit of sense over with the Lashley and Riddle match, because we can at least immensely take Riddle as a competent one-on-one guy. And even though like Lashley has, made the U.S. title a bit irrelevant because the Hurt Business has been chomping up screen time and he's just been dominating guys. And he already like submitted Jeff Hardy like 3 times. But somehow he's near the main event against Randy Orton for no reason. I mean, other than he looks like his old self, without the face paint and stuff, wearing black white beater, black pants, white armbands, old school Jeff Hardy. That was about it. And they did the same spot with the Twist of Fate RKO from like Royal Rumble 08. I remember that because I used to have the DVD set back then when there was still a Best Buy. Don't judge me. I'm old. So I'm not even that old. But still, that was the only positive I can simplify from the match. How Riddle won, though, was he tried to do parkour to try to release the hold out of or distract the referee so he could turn away even though he was tapping out from the full Nelson. He came off and immediately came with a roll-up on Lashley. There was even him trying to start with a head start because he knows if he tries to go strong, he's going to get blown up by Lashley. So I guess it was smart. The match was decent, but WWE always does this now. That you try to have a random match against a champion, you just earn a title shot by pinning him once. Not that much of a immense build. Hurt Business comes around looking like majorial immature idiots, with MVP trying to put everything in line, even though they have the most belts. Why don't they have as much screen time as Randy Orton? Yeah, they have the most matches. Most of them had a tag team match and a one-on-one match, but it just felt like they were just not a major focus without Retribution that's just jobbing out over Ricochet of all people. And Randy Orton barely getting immense focus on a literal storyline that he's in other than one interview with stupid-ass Charlie Caruso over literally burning a chick alive. So, not only are they inconsistent in the target of demographic they're trying to pick upon, they're inconsistent in even trying to pick upon a tone that they want to actually target over having freaking legends. With a legend killer, you just put these niche BS little skits everywhere. That's not getting anybody over. You have legends that's supposed to do that job for the younger guy, but that just gets themselves over. People are going to say, damn. People are going to know who Melina is. People are going to know who Hulk Hogan is. Jimmy Hart. No Carlito. No Lita. Just Sergeant Slaughter with that freaking ostrich-ass neck. That looks like he needs to take freaking... Oh, God. Blue pills for that crap. It's just garbage. No Steve Austin. No, The Rock. They just put these random guys over just for no reason. What was even the certain standpoint? If it was like Randy Orton is like, I'll try to get everybody's attention. Thanks, there's a lot of legends. He came around talking crap about the Big Show, even though the Big Show been in some matches, literally just under a year. Mark Henry was on a scooter, so why didn't he just RKO him if he was on stage at the main event of the show? And to Ric Flair that he punted in the head with the lights off. It's just underwhelmingly bland, especially when you're trying to pick apart at least make a character more threatening. Randy had a great 2020. And how to make this better? Goldberg. To do another 5-minute bullshit match that's barely going to supplicate a story, not even get McIntyre over. It's literally Vince saying flat out, there is no legitimate main event scene on Raw. Or else they wouldn't have Goldberg on the freaking Royal Rumble. This is just desperate time, man. And it's not like I hate seeing Goldberg and he never won the WWE Championship. And I guess it's not going to literally bury upon Drew because he's beaten The Fiend before. But as only subjugated over a couple things, that The Fiend literally loses most pay-per-view matches and win it. Like, who did he beaten? He beaten Finn Balor back at SummerSlam of 2019. Rollins, Daniel Bryan, and I guess Braun Strowman back at SummerSlam. He's lost to Goldberg, Drew McIntyre many times, Seth Rollins. He's just not incompetently strong, so there's no legitimacy over beating somebody like Bray Wyatt. It's just so garbage, dude. I'm trying to be more calm. It's the same garbage. You can't build upon long-term storylines in a 3-hour time gap. Over what exactly? What's the excuse? I'm trying to understand. I want to understand the business aspect of why they consistently make it 3 hours. I get it. And I guess in the standpoint, if I'm doing this for a publicly traded company, and that's my major source of income, I'm going to do it. But over that standpoint, the people who go in to consistently watch over the product, that's been declining over relevance for over 15 years. I guess I would have to do some cut costs. Not getting rid of freaking competitors. At least trying to get rid of the time slot. Cut numbers, cut guys on the roster because they're not hitting up to popularity standards. If I still have to do these niche little Raw reunion tribute bullshit shows. Sure, Raw reunion got like a 3.4. Nobody still wanted to watch the product next week because they knew those legends weren't going to come again. And we had to get like, oh my god, did you know that Adam Pearce was NWA champion? No one gives a about that until, what, Nick Aldis held it? Cody held it? God, stop it. I don't care about Adam Pearce. He barely had any authoritarian shit to do, even though there was news that he probably put a woman on fire. There was legends all over the show. Nobody got involved. We had Riddle getting multiple comedic interactions over with the Big Show. I think he talked over his Netflix series. I don't give a shit. He came around beating Lashley. Already talked about that. I think I didn't go over that much over the Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy match. That I think was fine. I reminisce over the Twist of Fate reversal into an RKO. There was a crossbody elevated DDT. A counter over the clothesline. It just was okay. It was an okay match. But it felt like every belt just felt unimportant. That's also a problem. Asuka's the women's champion. But she's still getting overshadowed over freaking Charlotte and what bullshit that her dad did that's going to be a one-off point to begin with. The U.S. champion gets pinned off an idiot. The tag team champions that come around beating one of the most decorative champions in a long time out of the New Day. And then get jobbed out over the Lucha House Party that just had some dumb Lucha garbage with Melina. Every belt looked like garbage. The main event was pretty good though. I liked that Spanish fly from the top. There was this cool little power bomb from the outside of the apron to the corner of the commentary table. Not the center, the corner. Big spine buster into a jackknife pinfall. I always loved that spot, but I wish it was just like a front one other than turning around one. Just like a lot of cardio. Not a lot of selling over to the midsection, even though he's been getting targeted over power slams. Belly to bellies. Keith Lee looking like a beast. Pouncing on Drew on the outside. The match was just heavyweight versus heavyweight plus a bit of lightweight moves. That was cool, but I wish it was still over just heavyweights. Good reversals over the Spirit Bomb. There was a nice Future Shock DDT that I'm just shocked isn't the finish anymore. but over a clothesline, Claymore kick, match was done. Really good match. 30-minute mark. Yeah, it started like 10:35. And they had to take over some break points because of some tough spots over from Keith Lee. That his fat ass is still doing these high spot maneuvers over a world title match. That he should be a bit more conservative. And it just felt so unconceivably underwhelming because there wasn't no selling points. With Sheamus coming out there trying to interfere in the world title match because he's been, accused of being untrustworthy, and actually building upon a story while still having interactions with the legends, and that wasn't going to actually be conflictable because WWE just lacks on trying to do conflictive storylines that can be in a week-to-week basis to actually have the casual viewers come up and watch. Because I really give a Ricochet's asshole about a match that's just gonna have Keith Lee losing and nothing else happens. Goldberg just pops up just to issue his challenge for the World Championship for no reason, other than somehow McIntyre been disrespecting legends out of Randy Orton. That's been literally threatening an injury-riddled Mark Henry, Big Show, and Ric Flair live on television. What? Does he not have his own portable little flat screen TV right next to him? Or he's just not updated? Hey, Randy Orton's been threatening some legends. You think you can go check it out? Come on. What? When Goldberg came consult to Randy backstage, that he was like, oh, Drew did it. What? I'm just trying to understand, people don't go back to watch it. AEW, they stop watching wrestling in general. Just for BS like this. And then after Goldberg came around, commenting over McIntyre's respect for the legends, and saying that somehow that his ability is, he's better in his prime than most of what the legends were in his prime, and then he got pushed like a little bitch. Then McIntyre's music just awkwardly plays, and then we fade to black. Nothing else happened. Retribution, scrapped over the water. Hurt Business, come looking weak. And then nothing involving the rest of the Fiend storyline, Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton shit, other came over to play than that one interview segment. Sure, I like that one promo that he did with Ric Flair, but that was technically it. Nobody else looked as important. Sure, Elias and Styles had a decent, average-looking match, but they're both heels. Over the psychotic Montrain of Randy Orton and The Fiend, they're both technically a monster heel and a regular heel. And Orton's now occasionally over the last 4 years in Pyromaniac. I like the interfusing story, but no one looks credible. It comes around looking inconsistent as hell, and it just comes around looking dumb. And the legends were just there. What, we had Angel Garza feeding up over most of the chicks literally older than him, till he got rolled up off R-Truth, because that's the only reason that belt exists now. At least a hardcore belt, you can remember the guys that held it, even though it changed hands drastically over the weeks of episodes. Mick Foley, Jeff Hardy, Rob Van Dam, Crash Holly, Bob Holly, Al Snow, Kane, Rhino, Raven, who held the 24/7 title other than Tozawa, Gallo, Gulak, and Garza. The only relevance that the belt had was either from Drake Maverick, because at least he had a storyline with it, and R-Truth. And most of the guys that even held the 24/7 title are now released, because they were all jobbers. So nothing comes looking good. This show sucked. I think I get the most out of this because some of the guys that do their review watch us at least a cut version or a highlights. I come around skipping what I could have just done, hanging out with some friends, doing some work, or doing something else. I would have been watching an NBA game or something. I come on wasting 3 hours of my time for absolutely nothing to happen, nothing to change other than McIntyre's going to be having this struggle-licious match with Goldberg. There's no intertwining storyline going in with Ric Flair and Charlotte because that was probably going to be a one-off thing to begin with. Randy's still going to be... Randy got nothing to change over just threatening old people and doing nothing. Legend killer my ass. And they just got Elias and Styles just having these good matches with no centerpiecing storyline. Get rid of this damn brand split. It's fine to get rid of the brand split. What is there to gain? It is since 2016, and the ratings has declined over that. We find a 1.8 to 1.7 averaged. Acceptable. That's not good, dude. At least we have duplicated star power that we know that, okay, if they're done over this feud, we don't have to waste over a couple months unless we're doing a storyline. So we can have these guys. There's a lack of star power on Raw and on SmackDown now. Sheamus is just there. Styles and Elias are not doing anything with. Strowman is just a big gay retard with no semblance of a charisma, look, or popularity since 2016. And it's over a guy that's literally has done nothing to gain that much heat to begin with, other than Vince just doesn't like, the fans just don't like him. Because he just doesn't have that much work rate. Or because he's getting pushed over his throats even though he has the best matches out of most of the rest of the roster. Garbage. Get rid of this dumb brand split. I've been complaining about this for the last couple of years because they have no roster planning. They do the same draft over again because the brands are now so interchangeable. There's no difference if Rollins goes to Raw or SmackDown. Call-ups don't mean crap anymore. And it's just no difference if we get legends out there or not because they have no storylines intertwining. It's just garbage. Purely garbage. And people are just going to tolerate this. I try to quit. But I just have so much history with this thing that I don't want to. And it's so bad. It's so bad why I know guys like just Mark Busters quit even watching the show that they've been probably watching since they were fucking children. Just probably watching a highlighted or just hearing about what happened in an article. It's garbage. Pure garbage. And I don't know why people accept this. I don't know why Vince accepts this, even though he's getting the lowest turnout of probably any semblance of talent, popularity, relevance, or trade, or any stock in his company. He's lucky enough to still be averaging more than he's been getting over a decade ago because of what's going on with the network. And still he's gaining with most of the content that's involved with SmackDown and Raw. And I just mean the commercial buy-ins that he's getting. It's not that his show is actually producing numbers. Because who's the top star on Raw? It's just McIntyre. Nobody else. There's no other names to substitute from because they're all going to be interchangeable in come like 6 months before they do another bullshit little inter-brand showcase garbage shit that they're probably going to just do to change it up a notch other than get rid of the thing that's probably not getting anybody over. Garza is doing nothing. Styles is doing nothing. Elias is doing nothing. The Hurt Business just feel like they're there with no storyline intertwining. Retribution is just a jobber faction feuding with jobbers because they know if they face a competent guy, they're going to get jobbed out. Underutilizing Elias, and just Roman Reigns is the only cutable figure that people want to rewatch because the guy actually looks like he's taking no shit from anybody. That's all I got for this episode before I burst. But other than what I have in this rant, there's more things to complain about. But I'll leave that for another time. If you guys enjoyed the video about me, about, why I have a reason for taking Tylenol or some garbage like that, Please subscribe, because I think there's going to be more of this over the rest of the year. But that's it for me. Thanks for watching.